Welcome back, everybody, to the Rivalcade Rumble brought to you by DX Racer and Razor. I'm Storm, back with Hurix for our final streamed series of the day. It's going to be Group D. It's going to be Cloud9 up against Good Round, formerly Gale Force Esports. Looking forward to this one. We've got Nepal, Lijiang Tower, and Dorado for our map pool, Hurix. This is going to be a tough one for Good Round.
I have to agree. I think this is going to be a really, really hard matchup for Good Round. C9 obviously not looking like the strongest team in the tournament, but still looking strong enough to be able to take down a team that struggled already in the qualifiers. They've been struggling throughout the group stage so far as well. And I think Cloud9 should be able to come away with the victory here. Both of these are on, first we got Nepal. I don't know if that's the strongest map for Cloud9. Certainly, I wouldn't put it in like the top of their wheelhouse. But the second map, Lijiang Tower, a map that they picked, and obviously their strongest map in the pool, at least in my opinion. And obviously,
well, they beat LG Evil on it.
They feel the same way because they keep picking it. So,
yeah. Well, they beat LG Evil. They 3-2'd them. It was a close one throughout. I mean, the entire series was close at that. But obviously showing if they can beat a team like LG Evil on it, hopefully there's some hope for them on Nepal. But you got to wonder, I mean, going into this one with Good Rounds, what do you think the real chance is to be able to win this, Hurix? I mean, they got to win if they want to keep their tournament hopes alive. If they want to play tomorrow, they need to take a W here. What are you looking for in terms of, their DPS players to try to stand out here?
I mean, Clockwork, of course, on the Tracer is going to be a pretty standard pick for them. I think that this is going to be pretty much what he sticks with time and time again. However, right now, what kind of shines through right there is actually Shrugger going to be going back over to that Pharah that we've seen him on before, and Bonnie going to be going on to that Mercy. We'll have to see how Surefour is able to deal with him on that McCree, actually, as opposed to the Soldier that you would typically see in this matchup.
I can't see this as an issue, especially when they have Rolf as well providing some of that cover with the Zenyatta pick here, but there's a lot of pressure coming out here from Good Round right away. I mean, Kaiser already dropping about half HP here as well as Rolf, so the rest of Good Round sitting pretty healthy, and Zephyr, the first to actually drop here, so not a good start, to say the least, for C9. We'll have to see if they want to pounce back onto the point.
I actually really like the way that Sugar is playing this. He's playing very passively, not getting that aggressive until he has the opportunity, and now is potentially that opportunity, but he gets Discord, and that opportunity goes away, and Surefour just finishes him off so easily with the Discord up on top of him, and they're going to be able to turn this fight back around as Gods pulls out the blade as well.
I've loved what I've seen from Gods here on the Genji, especially on that last map on Hollywood they played up against LG Evil, and unsheathing it once again, and you got to wonder, if you're Shrugger, do you really want to go up against Surefour? I mean, do you actually want to go up against him on McCree?
Man,
that is rough.
That's definitely rough. They have the Resurrect, though, so if anything goes awry, just pick them back up.
Hey, if I die, just res me, all right? I know we're going up against Surefour and the rest of Cloud9, but yeah, that's rough. We'll see what happens. Deadeye coming out, though, from Surefour all the way on the side here. A little bit of a zoning ult, I guess you could say, because the rest of Good Round are on the complete opposite side covered.
But it does give them an extra little bit of time, too, to get some poke out. As of course, they want to have Adam, if they can, generating that sound barrier. And now with it ready, I mean, they really kind of want to come together here to get the most out of this ultimate. But they're all separated here. Zephyr did manage to get that kill on Muma, so maybe it did actually work out in their favor. But Shrugger does get eliminated. Surefour is all over this guy.
Yeah, he picks up another kill, followed through with a nice flashbang on Bonnie, and able to secure that one. And it looks like Cloud9 playing pretty reserved. It looks like most of what they're doing is revolving around just trying to find that opening pick onto Muma in particular. That's what they did. Once Muma was down, we saw Kaiser just jump into that back line and Surefour take advantage of knowing that he's not going to get jumped upon by the Winston because he's already out of the fight. But given that, 6 ultimates up against 5, or 4 rather, moving into this next fight, this could be interesting with the self-destruct going out here from Zephyr. Doesn't find anything.
But look at the ults charged up for Good Round. This is their opportunity. Emil actually gets de-mech'd, forced to actually pop his ult just to get his mech back. So not the best.
Another Dragon Blade, man. God's coming out with another one. I feel like he literally did just have this, Hurix. I mean, this guy is on par with whoever in terms of Genji ultimates right now.
But here's the thing. The only pick that he wound up getting with it, I mean, was pretty much the best one you could have asked for. Bonnie on that Mercy does wind up getting killed off by that pretty much inherent counter, actually, from that Winston. But really, I mean, Muma's going to come through, and he's just going to drive the damage straight through to the point and actually take Surefour out. And they might be able to get the flip here as Clockwork actually gets rezzed up. And maybe this is what they needed finally to get back in and re-engage onto the point and actually get things going back in their favor. They finally do flip it, but not before it goes into overtime, and it is at 99% for Cloud9. So they only have one fight to win to secure this first map.
Still holding on to 2 ultimates, though. Shrugger and Clockwork ready to go. If Clockwork can find a nice pick, you know, that could buy them another 20, 30+%, because there's no reason for Cloud9 to move into an outnumbered fight, especially once they're in over or 99% now. A single team fight secures the round for these guys, and they're looking poised to do so. As Surefour moves over to the Soldier 76, of course. Only change really coming out for these guys, maybe providing a little bit more consistent damage and threat to Shrugger in particular.
Bonnie's still holding on to that Resurrect here, though, as he's been able to get it back. And after that, I mean, really it was just a solo res onto Clockwork just to kind of secure that first take. But Shrugger definitely performing pretty well now as Surefour has gone over to that Soldier. Then McCree, I mean, just not going to be able to get in there as much, especially out in the open like that. But
50%, man. 50% already on the board, and we haven't really even seen an engagement come out from Cloud9.
Look at Gods.
Yeah, Gods has Dragon Blade up in just a moment here. A few more shurikens should be able to secure that one for himself. And I like the positioning. Shrugger just kind of hiding himself around the corner. Does get to a nice point with the concussive blast, able to push himself off the building here. But they are going to lose a couple early on. Kaiser, thanks to Kaiser at that. Sound barrier comes through. The Resurrect comes out though, Bonnie. And most importantly, Gods was taken out before he could get his Dragon Blade out now. They're at 73%. Look how close that is to flipping.
Well, Clockwork's just going to get ran down, and Adam does get the killing blow, but it was pretty much the entirety of C9 that actually secured that. They do flip the point with Muma up, so now he's going to be trying to just stay alive long enough for his supports to come over, or else he's going to be staggered. Kaiser actually just punches him down, finds that kill, and it should be C9 able to pull this one out, unless Shrugger just goes unchecked and to find some kills here on the Pharah.
Well, I wonder if Boink can get back, because he has a sound barrier. He is going to be able to connect onto him and 3 other teammates to keep him alive for the time being. Surefour, the pulse bomb ready to go here. Primal Rage from Kaiser, going to try to knock him about. Don't think he's going to be able to really knock anyone off the point. Maybe try to deal with Shrugger in the skies, but Surefour's taken down before he actually brings out the pulse bomb. And I am super shocked right now that, that Cloud9's not able to clean this one up here.
I mean, Zephyr just got obliterated by Shrugger. Shrugger not only demeching him, but just taking him out as soon as he gets out of that mech. And really, I mean, the more pivotal pick, I would say, was the one that he got onto Surefour right before that. Surefour sitting there with the pulse bomb ready to go, was looking poised to take, what would be the solidifying kill in that team fight, as Good Round was still just kind of piling onto the point and really wasn't kind of in good positions at that stage at all. And Shrugger, with that pick onto Surefour, just kind of shifted things back, and with that performance against the D.Va too, taking him out.
A few ultimates for both sides. Got to take into consideration that Bonnie has the Resurrect available for this fight. Boink probably not the person to bring up by yourself, though. Shrugger is going to be taken down. Brings them both back up, but is now out of the mech here, and they're going to lose Wolf here. Overtime is ticking here. Whoever wins this fight is going to come out victorious in the first round right now, and it looks to be favoring C9. Clockwork still in the area, Shrugger as well, but that point should be flipped here. There goes Shrugger. That's going to be another kill into the bag onto Clockwork as soon as they can deal with him, and Cloud9 securing the first round. Extremely hard fought, though, despite being up 99-0.
And Gods almost with his 4th Dragon Blade, too. I mean, definitely a lot could be said about that, but now moving into this second map, C9 up ahead, but not as, I mean, obviously a lot closer than I think I would have anticipated in this matchup, but that's only just the first round here, Storm. I mean, going into Sanctum, I'm not sure if the teams are going to be wanting to switch things around, going over to a triple tank, or if they're going to wind up staying exactly as they are. Currently, it looks like C9 is opting for that triple tank option, as we are seeing the dive staying, with Shrugger and Bonnie still going with that Pharah Mercy combination. 9 seconds left to change, and they haven't made any moves yet, so they might actually be sticking with this one here up against that triple tank with Surefour on the Soldier 76, with Zephyr actually on the D.Va too, so they could very well shut Shrugger down pretty heavily if they get into the right positions here.
Well, they are going to be moving Gods back to that Roadhog. Can perform fairly well on it here on this point, so we'll see what he's able to make of this one, as they're going to actually move him back to, over to the 76. He wasn't on it originally. Just playing a little bit of that D.Va, so we'll see what they're able to make of this one, as we do see Kaiser, finds a fire strike there onto Muma, but I'm looking for Muma to dive into the back, look for something, maybe Surefour, because Surefour's kind of cut off from the rest of his team right now.
And we will see C9 getting very aggressive as well. They're just beating their way around, but Surefour, as you said, just all the way in the back line, didn't actually get over to his team, and as they're swinging around trying to pick him back up, Good Round just happened to just walk right into him and take him out.
That was just perfect coordination from those guys. Surefour was just caught in the back and then communication to be able to get him out, or excuse me, to dive upon him. The rest of the team was looping around. He just got cut off. Maybe he was looking for some side threat, but Muma put to sleep here. They've got the numbers, as Surefour should be able to make it back into this fight here, provide a little bit of a damage threat. Still no points on the board for either side. Pulse Bomb out there doesn't really find a whole lot. Still fairly back and forth. Good round, have the numbers here. The Resurrect comes out from Bonnie as well, and that will be able to secure this one. More than likely, Surefour trying to get something done with the Tac Visor, comes up short.
And that's Good Round. After a very long and arduous battle, they finally come up with the point, and now they're going to be able to climb up with the lead as C9 making some changes here. Gods at the moment is actually swapping over to that Genji that was really strong for them on Shrine. Kaiser going over to the Winston. Surefour swapping over to the Tracer, so they're swapping over to that 2-2-2 dive style. Rolf does have Nano Boost up, but he's down to about half of his HP. Should be able to get healthy with Adam standing right next to him as well, though. But they're looking for an opportunity to make the most out of this boost.
They're going to go ahead and put Kaiser in the back. Ooh, too much damage coming out from Emil. Able to find that kill for themselves there. I think he was just caught out with not a whole lot of support remaining for himself. And, I mean, with that opening kill, it kind of means that the rest of this side of Good Round can kind of hold on to the ultimates and not utilize all of them for this hold, Urix, especially since Emil pops the Tac Visor, picks up one.
And that's going to be that final kill, and we're looking for the reset here as Kaiser needs to pull back at this point. Doesn't have that barrier available, but we do see actually Muma. I mean, he did get down pretty low, but forced actually Primal Rage just to stay alive so they don't lose momentum into the next fight.
Resurrect ready to go again for Bonnie. 62% and counting now for Good Round. A very unexpected first round comeback, and then, of course, second round right here, proving to be in their favor as the self-destruct comes out there from Zephyr, gets a reset, but doesn't really find anything. I'm not the biggest fan always of teamfight initiation with the self-destruct, especially when there's so many walls to kind of cower behind here. As Shrugger actually comes around there, doesn't find anything with his ultimate, though. There's Bonnie coming through with the Resurrect, gets him back up.
And Shrugger now along the side has to get away from Surefour with the Nano Boost. Clockwork with a huge Pulse Bomb, finds two.
And that's exactly what they needed, especially with that Resurrect keeping them up, or bringing them back up. The flip did come mid-fight, but it's going to be short-lived since Gods is the lone survivor here. He's taken down, doesn't want to bring out the blade. Still 20 seconds to get a regroup. Not a lot to work with, though, Urix, and this is looking very worrying for C9 to be able to come back into this round.
Definitely looks as though Good Round should be able to hold this out, but a lot of options for ultimates here as Surefour getting close to that Tac Visor. Kaiser ready to go with Primal Rage. Gods has that blade. That definitely did well for them on the Shrine map, so I'm not sure if they're going to be able to pull this out, but this is the opportunity for Good Round to take a round for themselves as they need this one here.
Tac Visor comes out from Surefour, cleans it up, though, and takes care of business on the Bonnie, who didn't have a Resurrect anyways, but still, getting rid of that Mercy is vital, and they should be able to get that 18% up just a little bit higher. And thankfully, they weren't actually forced to use Gods and Kaiser's ultimates. They only really got away with Surefour's being utilized in that last fight to clean that one up. But still, here, they're going to have to win a lot more fights in this round to come back into this. I mean, I'm looking for Gods to come up big. He's got to take care of business on Emil and Bonnie in particular.
Really has to find Bonnie, I think, especially. Oh, what a pick! Gods and Rolf just landing those projectiles straight into Clockwork's dome, and they just flatten him into the floor. Now sitting at 45%. I mean, we're not going to be seeing another fight until about that 55% mark or so. I mean, Tracer should be able to get back quick, though, so we'll have to see what kind of pace they set for their attack. It looks like that is going to be...
Look at Muma right now. They don't know he's around here, so he's going to be able to dive into the back and look for some pressure onto Surefour and Wolf in particular. I mean, they don't really have a whole lot to deal with that except for that Discord. That's exactly what it's going to do. He jumps right onto the back. He has some help as well from his fellow Tracer. Him and Clockwork clean this one up, and that's what I was looking for as Muma positioned himself perfectly here. Godzo on the other end of things. He gets a couple for himself with the Dragon Blade here, and they might be able to hold on to this point because of that.
Muma's pretty low still. I mean, Surefour is just basically baiting him out. What? Wait! Muma, what are you doing? He did actually just Primal Rage. I'm not sure if this is actually going to work out for them. He does get discorded, and he jumps.
Primal Rage was also out there. Muma saying, oh man, he's probably actually rolling on the floor laughing right now because of that. That's a little unfortunate for him. Of course, we do see the Resurrect come out as well. Shrugger, they do get the flip, 94%, but that's because the rest of C9 were busy dealing with those people off point. They still have the numbers advantage.
And Clockwork is left on the point right now. I don't think he has recall. He's going to get eliminated as Muma is one of the only guys left here, and he does get taken down as well. It's looking like C9 are going to be able to get this flip back. And once they get it, I'm not sure if anybody from Good Round's going to be able to get on. We see the Soldier 76 sprinting his way over, but there's no way. He gets back actually by Zephyr, and they actually finish this off. They're 2-0, stealing that one away from Good Rounds.
Both rounds coming at a 199 victory for C9. I mean, coming into this year, I mean, we discussed, we assumed Cloud9 was going to be able to take, most of these rounds heading into Nepal and then Lijiang Tower for the second map, but I did not expect it to be 199s, to say the least. As we head to Village, Sugar potentially back on the fair. Is that something you'd maybe like to see from him?
Well, I think Village is probably one of the better maps for this. Typically, it just depends on the way that the fair likes to play. Bonnie more than likely going to be going back over to the Mercy. I think they are going to stick with this and just go with that the 2-2-2, my apologies, for this with email on the Diva here. But we are going to be seeing Surefour actually going with Tracer here, which I'm not sure about. I mean, obviously, it's hard for them to know, but I think at this point, you have to kind of expect Strugger's going to be on the fair. I mean, he's been on it the entire time.
And Rolf as well on the Ana, not going to be going over to the Zenyatta. But it'll be interesting how they want to actually pressure down this Pharah. They don't really have
He's right next to him!
Yeah,
Surefour!
Doesn't really
You've got him!
Unfortunately. Looking for a little bit of that damage into the sky. Scott's taking a little bit of damage as well, but it's still a brawl on the point for the most part, as this does unlock here. Neither team really pulling the trigger just yet, as we do start to see Kaiser move forward.
And it's going to be Gods looking for picks right now. That's what they're looking for. I mean, you want to be able to shut down Muma here, and you have the hook. They finally do get that kill, and that opens things up for C9 as nobody else was on the point, and they were really close.
Ooh.
Bonnie with the Resurrect, though, it looks like they're going to be able to swing things.
And that was a big pulse bomb as well. Clockwork able to take a big chunk off of Gods, who's taking a breather here. Sound barrier out from Adam, though, and I think they have an opportunity to pull this back in their favor, especially since Surefour is on that 76 now, of course. So
no, Kaiser. He went for the hammer down. He was boosted up. You should have gotten the kill onto Bonnie, but he went for the Earth Shatter, missed it, went for the charge, and just fell off the map. So, I mean, a lot of praise for this guy, but man, that was a bad play.
A little unfortunate, to say the least, but you got to remember here, they're still maintaining control of the point throughout this. They're still getting higher and higher as Kaiser comes back into the mix. And unfortunately, they lose Gods before he's able to break out the whole hog. And there's so much to work with right now. If you are the side of Good Round, I can't see them losing this engagement.
Well, we do see them wiping the floor finally, 46% before that swap actually occurs. Shrugger down on that barrage, as he did just use it in that last fight. But luckily for Good Round, they do have Bonnie's ult. I mean, he's been pretty liberal about the usage of that Resurrect. I mean, he's been using them quite often, sometimes even just for the solo res, but certainly for a duo, as long as he thinks that it'll create the shift in momentum that they need to be able to kind of turn a fight around, then he'll just plop that right out. So I definitely expect that in this next fight if he can remain safe.
Well, Hogs out from Gods, though, actually able to knock, make sure that Muma is not a part of that mix. Muma was trying to dive onto Kaiser there, but actually was forced to back off because of that one. Still, Bonnie ready to resurrect if he needs this one. He's got two people to bring back up. He gets them both into the mix. They've got the numbers advantage, but no, it's Adam coming through with the sound barrier. Keeps him alive for the time being. Good Round should be able to take the lead off this here, but I'm not sure. They don't have a whole lot to work with right now. Shrugger has a barrage up in a second. Is he going to find the best spot for it? The shatter comes down from Kaiser. Do they have the people there to capitalize? It looks like for the time being, no. It's so back and forth, but the numbers are to C9.
Oh, man, that's one of those barrages that really feels bad. You wish you could just click escape and cancel it. As soon as Kaiser turned that corner, he just threw his shield up right in the face of Shrugger, and Shrugger just ate every little bit of damage until he wound up dying off. And now Kaiser coming back into it. They're going to be able to get back into position. They do take the lead here, Storm. And again, they're already up 2-0 here. So if they're able to take this next fight, they're going to put themselves in a fantastic position to take this final map and move on to Lijiang Tower, a map that I think they have a lot more favor on.
Well, I don't think they're going to have to really worry too much about Bonnie and Shrugger because of Surefour's tactical visor. He does get one with it, and that honestly, that one's definitely going to count. Yeah, both of them now out of the fight. 78%. Still enough time to get a regroup, but the real question is, are they going to hold on to here? I mean, look at I guess they're not going to be able to find Muma at this point. He's all the way in the back there. They're on the complete opposite side, so Muma's safe. They've got about 13 seconds to get back to this one and look to get something done. Neither team have a whole lot on the table.
Muma's going to need to do a lot. I mean, Primal Rage is ready to go. He's going to have to create a lot of space. He's going to have to create a lot of separation between the supports and oh, he got slapped!
No one's going to be able to follow up off of that, but that's going to be a 5v6 because of him being put to sleep there. Great play coming out from Rolf. They pick up 2 kills on the both supports again. Sure, for second consecutive team fight where he does that, but still Clockwork, nice pulse bomb. He may want people to clean this one up. They won't win with this team fight, but they should be able to find the kill on the Kaiser, and it doesn't look like it matters in the end. They do force out a Primal Rage, but 99% regardless put up from Cloud9.
That's absolutely insane that Rolf gets one of those crazy sleep darts. I mean, obviously the Winston's pretty big, so it's not insane, but it's still pretty crazy how he had that reaction time to just flick that thing back up and land that, because again, the impact that should have had, I mean, it was huge to be able to shut down really one of their best opportunities to get that point, but they get it anyways. Email just throwing up that self-destruct, not going to find anything with it.
Still, they have a lot to work with, and most specifically on the side of Good Round is that Resurrect. You got to be careful here, because this is the final engagement we're going to see. If they can take care of Bonnie, they should be good. The last 2 team fights, Surefour has taken care of business onto both him and Boink, so they're got to be very wary about the positioning. Shrugger goes down. There's sound barriers out as well. Everything's on the table here. Bonnie coming through. Bonnie, no Resurrect. He's taken down. That's the 6-man wipe, and again, Cloud9 take 3 consecutive 199 rounds over Good Round as we head to Lijiang Tower to potentially close out this series if Cloud9 can take it, but still an opportunity for Good Round to come back into this one. What do you even make of 3 199s given how good we think Cloud9 is in comparison to these guys?
Obviously, Good Round has to feel a little bit disappointed with that. It's two-sided, though, because, I mean, they have to feel disappointed because they came so close, but they have to feel really good about their performance against C9, who have been really kind of dominating this group stage so far, at least here for Group D. Now, moving forward, though, I mean, going into Lijiang Tower, which is, again, C9's pick, I mean, they really feel very confident on that map. I think Good Round has to, again, that a little bit of disappointment has to be kind of compounded a little bit because of the fact that really their shot is dramatically lessened by the fact that they didn't win that first map.
Yeah, that's really rough. And now we head to Lijiang Tower, a map that we did see Cloud9 take off of LG Evil 3-2 in the previous series we saw on stream. And given that, here, is that a reason why you think Cloud9 is going to be so successful on this map? I mean, obviously it's a strong map for them, but given they just 3-0'd Good Round, albeit close rounds, they were good rounds, if you know what I'm talking about here. But Lijiang Tower, what are you giving them such a high praise here up against Good Round with what we just saw there?
Well, I mean, C9, dating back even to the last Rivalcade Rumble, Lijiang was their pick. It was always their pick. It was every single time I remember was casting, you just see, you know, what did you want your pick to be? Adams there in about 0.4 seconds flat, Lijiang. Every single time, it didn't matter who they were up against. It didn't matter, you know, what happened the last time they played it. It was just always what they wanted to pull out. If it was in the pool, they wanted it. That's what it came down to. So I think, honestly, it shows the fact that they have, you know, some pretty good results on that. I mean, even throughout the qualifier series of the last Rumble and now pushing it into this one, I imagine they played Lijiang for their first match that we didn't get to see, and probably did pretty well on that too. But against LG Evil, I think that was the second place team. I still think they're the second place team in this group, and because of all of that and the fact that they already beat Good Round on Nepal, which C9 is, you know, I wouldn't say as good as on Lijiang. I feel like they have a pretty solid opportunity here to just take this one. I think this is going to be 3-0, and I also think that we're not going to be seeing those 199s every single round like we just saw in Nepal.
I can't, yeah, I would have to agree, in, especially that last statement here. I'm expecting a Cloud9 victory more than likely. If they do take it, they will grab the #1 seed in Group D, which means they wouldn't have to take on Kungarna, Selfless, or Renegades tomorrow. And I think the big thing is they wouldn't have to take on Selfless. I think that is a team they were trying to avoid. They would be matched up against either CLG, Rise, and Yikes. All 3 excellent teams, don't get me wrong, but Selfless, despite, you know, a few early troubles today, that is a team you definitely don't want to see in the quarterfinals here. So given that, Hurix, we are going to be heading to Lijiang Tower to see what's going to be going down here and maybe a little more of that Surefour Farah action.
Obviously, I mean, in a single elimination bracket, seeding is never more important. I mean, you really want the best matchups possible because you don't get a second chance. You don't get that bottom side of the bracket. You don't get that loser's bracket to just, you know, push through and try to make your way back into the finals by, you know, just fighting through the rest of it. There's no room for mistakes at all. You have to push through.
You got to show up. And I thought, like I said before, I think the battle of tomorrow is who really shows up. And I mean, it sounds like an obvious statement, but we see a lot of teams, you know, show up like LG Evil, you know, in the monthly melee, the first 2 games, they didn't show up. They lost unexpectedly to a few teams, but we're about ready to go here to get into this one. Surefour is on the Tracer, though. Not going to be breaking out the Pharah. We see Shrugger, though, on the Pharah. And you got to wonder, wouldn't they not expect Shrugger to be on that Pharah? And Surefour going to be sticking with this? Because last time he made the change immediately over to 76.
Well, potentially what their thought is here is to just ignore the Pharah because they know that it's coming, and they have two choices. Deal with the Pharah by committing probably basically half of their team composition to just dealing with the Pharah and shutting that down, and granted that could work, or you just ignore it. Play the ground game, get aggressive, find the damage on the supports, and let Zephyr deal with that one problem. If he can do that, then you're going to be putting yourself in a very, very strong advantage going into these team fights because Zephyr now is in place. Bonnie is getting taken down pretty low there. If Zephyr just keeps this defense matrix going, they're going to be able to win the ground game. And it's not looking like it's going to go in their favor quite yet, though, as Clockwork actually does finish off Surefour.
That's a nice pickup for him. Winston is battling out Winston on the point here, trying to see you can get around the corner. But again, another kill into Adam. And a terrific start coming out here for Good Round. They should, honestly, they should have this in the bag. They've got a lot of ultimates. Yeah, that's going to be 4 or 5, almost all 6 ultimates ready to go for the next engagement, as things are starting to come up as well for the side of C9. But look at the difference between Muma and Kaiser right now. That's pretty big.
On top of that, I mean, with the selections that they've made, Surefour and Gods, those are two characters with very, very quick charging ultimates. And in a game, in a matchup like this on King of the Hill, you really want those ultimates because if you can win some of these early fights, even if you lose the first fight, you can pull out those ults in the second one. You see Gods pulling out the Blade there, Rolf pulling out the Transcendence. They're going to be able to swing this fight off the second engagement potentially. And if they do that, they're going to be able to, you know, really kind of surge ahead in the third when they get ults up like Adams, but that's not going to be the case again because Good Round shuts them down. So even though C9 is incredibly smart about the way that they approach this, knowing how to play on Lijiang Tower, especially on King of the Hill just in general, they're still getting shut down by Good Round, and they're not able to deal with Shrugger here in the skies. So it's not working out in their favor, and Surefour now forced to swap over to a Pharah himself, and we're going to be having a little bit of a duel on our hands.
We did see 5 ultimates, though, used there from the side of Good Round to hold on to that point. They didn't use Resurrect, but that's pretty big. And now, like you said, it's going to be Far Mercy up against Far Mercy. Rolf was on the Widowmaker for about half a second before making the change. Ooh, nice mid-air hug coming out there from Surefour. Not going to be able to follow up off of that one, unfortunately. But as that progresses in the skies, we are going to see a self-destruct come out here. And this is a play you look for. We've seen it before. Zephyr picks up 2 with the self-destruct. And once you get them in the open air, that is a totally doable play coming out from a Diva.
So it does get, I mean, that score does rack up pretty high. And Kaiser now with the Primal Rage just going to get some vision as he jumps up to see if they're going to be coming in or what kind of angle are they going to take. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. And he can give that intel to his team that they're just sitting on that other side of that wall there, just waiting to get in. And Muma right now just getting so aggressive. Bonnie does have that Resurrect available, though.
Are they going to be able to get it off in time? Shrugger's taken down. Usually you see that immediate res come out from him. Maybe he's waiting to see if Clockwork or Muma actually fall here. Pulse Bomb's out there, doesn't stick. And regardless, it doesn't look like they bring Shrugger back up. They just back off of this one. Probably the smart play from Bonnie, but still 30% and counting now from Cloud9. Definitely a real opportunity for them to be able to take the lead with another teamfight victory.
The thing is that right now you are basically Mercy versus Mercy. Resurrect's available on both sides. Who's going to be popping it first? Who's going to have, you know, the most impact with that Resurrect? And at the moment, given the fact that C9 is stationed on the point, you have to assume that Adam will be able to do well with this, especially given the fact that, you know, historically he was one of the top Mercies in NA, you know, dating almost a year, if not maybe even more than that.
Sound barrier's out, though. Surefour going to get hit with that one, as Boink doesn't have his ready to go. Barrage comes out. He's going to unload it onto Shrugger. No, Surefour does manage to get him with the last couple of hits there. The Resurrect, though, from Bonnie, of course, doesn't get Shrugger back up because he had fallen into the pit. So that's really unfortunate there for the rest of Good Round now, who are going to end up losing the lead off of this Euryx.
And actually, Adam went for a late res there. He does get reduced down pretty low, as it looked like Clockwork was trying to find that kill, but he's taken down actually himself as he does just jump off the map. And Adam coming away, even though he didn't really get too much out of that res, it was just enough to make sure that they kept the trades in their advantage so that, you know, they weren't losing out too much. and it definitely worked out in their favor. Now they're sitting at 96%. They want to be able to hold the rest of these guys out. Surefour sliding around the backside. Storm looking for an opportunity to get some kills as they try to get onto the point to contest.
Zephyr wasn't there actually to get the fight started. He is around the backside though. There's a kill on the Wolf. That's unfortunate. They have the ults ready to use if you are good round though. Shrugger and Clockwork are at the ready. If they win this fight, not necessarily going to mean them winning the round by any means, but they've got numbers. Shrugger unloads there. He's taken down by Gods in the end. Still in overtime. Good round, have the numbers, and it looks like they might be able to pull this in their favor.
Oh man, it looks like we are going to have one of those 199 finishes potentially.
It's possible.
I mean, it's going to be one of those situations. I mean, it is.
It's
more than possible because at this stage, even if C9 flips it, it's going to be 99 for good rounds. So
it will be.
It's going to be 199
regardless.
on this one too.
About as close as it gets. Regardless, no Resurrect ready to go from Adam, so he's going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage compared to what we see there from Bonnie. But no, Gods is off the map. That's unfortunate for them. That's a horrible start, especially with Kaiser dropping here. Good round, has the numbers 6-on-4 in this fight with a Resurrect to bring him back up. Unfortunately, Gods wasn't a part of that mix with the res. He was off the map. And I don't know, Hurix, this is looking rough for these guys. Surefour trying to turn it around, though. Barrage up top, picks one for himself. No email coming through with the self-destruct, and that might secure it.
Bonnie just goes ahead and gets Boink back up and into the fray. Even though he doesn't have his ultimate, he's pretty close, and they might need that going forward. But Boink gets eliminated almost immediately. Still, though,
wow.
They finish out the round as Kaiser gets picked, and they're up 1-0 on C9's choice of map here on King of the Hill, and it's going to be Lijiang Tower moving into the second map now. Man, this has been back and forth. 199, the fourth one in a row between these two teams.
A different victor for the fourth one here. But well-deserved, finally, after three rounds where they lost 99-100, they finally pick up a 99-100 victory for themselves. About time here. So let's see if they can continue with that trend here and try to put themselves in a pretty solid position here. Because, I mean, the third map that we have is Dorado, which would be a complete turnaround in terms of pace for both of these teams. So we'll see what's going to be coming out here. Surefour this time around will be starting with the 76, expecting Shrugger back on that Pharah. And, you know, if you put up 99 3 times in a row and 100 the fourth with the Pharah, might as well stick with it and see what you can do.
Pushing now, we will see Gods back on that Tracer and Surefour on the Soldier 76 with Rolf actually on that Zenyatta. Honestly, at this stage, I mean, Shrugger 5 maps in a row now on this pick of the Pharah. I mean, at this stage, you just got to figure out how exactly you want to deal with it. This time around, it looks like they're going to go for that Diva Soldier Zenyatta pickup that does you well. If they are able to, if they're granted the angle for it, then really they could actually take Shrugger out of the equation pretty quickly, especially given the fact that they already have that kill off on Bonnie, so he's not going to have that pocket available.
Pulse Bomb on Emil, though, is going to be able to demech him. That's a nice pickup for Gods, to say the least, allowing a little bit more room for Surefour to be able to punch out that damage consistently, not having to worry about the defense matrix. But even so, it's a relatively close fight here. I believe it's like a 2-on-3 on the point, as we do see Shrugger back in the thick of things. They are going to come up with the first points, though.
Somehow they pull that out. I mean, that Pulse Bomb looked like it should have kind of clinched things for C9, but they just weren't able to do enough with it. And now good round again. Really kind of starting things off nicely. Kaiser not able to kind of pull things off. This was basically, I mean, this was really kind of their map, I think, the last time around that we saw them against LG Evil. But this time around, it looks like good round. Man, it feels like I'm just out here rhyming everything.
They came up with an appropriate team name. I mean, you don't see that quite too often here. It's good round. You know, they're saying good round to you guys. Bonnie, though, coming through with the Resurrect email, not a part of that one, but they are going to be flipping it mid-fight, so not going to be really worth their while to stick around too long right here. Might as well just take a dip off the map. That's exactly what's going to happen with a few of those guys. Is only 30% put up, not the biggest amount, but definitely a strong start.
And now Kaiser ready to go with that Earth Shatter. I mean, they have so many options here. You got Transcendence coming up, or you already have it up. You got Sound Barrier, so both support options ready to go. You have the pick potential from that Pulse Bomb. As if you can land it onto someone like Muma and just shut him down completely, that would be a big pickup for sure. As I mean, assuming you can get over to Bonnie and find that kill, just find that pick. But really, you want to just be able to take him out with just sheer firepower. We do see the Pulse Bomb coming out, but that's not going to actually secure any kill at all.
Ooh, Sound Barrier from Boink only hits himself here because it didn't hit anyone else. He comes around the corner. Everyone else was on the outside. Wasn't able to find it. Shrugger, though, here comes the ultimate. Only finds one before being taken down by Rule. 49% still put up here from Cloud9, who take a little bit of a lead before giving this one up.
Bonnie ready to go with that Resurrect even still. I mean, obviously a lot of options left over from C9. Adam, who just got killed off finally there, late stagger. I mean, he's sitting there with Sound Barrier. Kaiser still with that Earth Shatter. Surefour coming up soon with that Tactical Visor. So, I mean, really, C9 could actually flip the table here a little bit, but really they have to worry a lot about not only the defense matrix from Email, just taking up a lot of that damage that could come out from Surefour and even to some extent Gods and Rolf, but also that Resurrect. They need to find Bonnie in this next fight.
And Surefour just taken out. That was a nice turnaround by Clockwork. Comes around the side. Didn't even suspect it was going to happen. Pulse bombs Surefour to death here. And something we really haven't said a whole lot is Kaiser with Earthshatter. We really haven't seen anything really big from him. So I think he really needs to show up if they want to get the flip here as they start to move in, starting things off with a nice pick with the self-destruct, getting rid of Shrugger. And I think they just hold on to the ultimates they have right now and get I guess, take the lead if possible right now with another team fight victory.
And that Earthshatter still being held onto by Kaiser at the moment. Barrier down pretty low, but he's going to have a nice opportunity to go ahead and reset that. In the meantime, though, I mean, if C9 wins this fight...
How are they not getting it yet, man?
It's just setting up to be another 199.
It seriously is right now. It actually will be 199, potentially, if Cloud9 gets back. If they get back into this, there's the potential for it.
Here's the thing. They have Transcendence again. They have the Tac Visor. They have Kaiser still sitting on the Earth Shatter. At this point, you have to think that he's got to feel kind of antsy about that. He's got to feel, you know, like he really wants to throw that out as soon as possible to actually get the value out of it, because he's been holding onto it for quite some time, but he's not going to just throw it out, you know, whenever. He needs to find at least 2 people. He needs to find some good impact with it.
Well, this can all go down the drain if that Pulse Bomb sticks. It does on the Gods, but no, it's going to be Rolf coming to the rescue. Earth Shatter. Ooh. Into the wall. Didn't really get much off of that. They use everything here, but it's well worth the time because they're going to get a few late kills. Barrage up top doesn't get anything here, unfortunately for himself, but they still have the numbers. Cloud9 have the advantage here. Still, Shrugger. If they find a late kill on a Shrugger, that could be GG, or good round, I guess you could say. I wasn't even thinking about it, if I'm being honest right now. I just kind of spat that one out. But even so, here it's 4 people on the point for a good round. Sound Barrier comes through, and I think C9, they might have this in the bag. If they can take care of Bonnie, no, he gets him back up.
Triple res.
No! They still have a fighting chance, though. Can they pull this back? Shrugger's taken down. Sound Barrier from Boink as well, Hurix. They might have pulled this in their favor.
Somehow, Clockwork has just been landing so many crazy pulse bombs and keeping them in this. Finds 2 kills, finds one onto Adam, so he's already eliminated Kaiser and Adam too. I mean, basically, they're pillars for C9, and they flip the point yet again. Overtime ticks down, and they're up 2-0, 199 again.
5 consecutive 199 rounds. These two going to good round.
So on the opposing team's map, winning out 199 every single round for 5 rounds straight. If it happens again, that will be all of those.
I think that would be like a first or something.
And it'll be Dorado to determine. So, I mean, that's no ties possible. Obviously, no 199s possible. I mean, this could potentially be, like,
this is upset territory,
a very weird set of matches for sure.
Oh, it already is a weird set of matches. I mean, this could be upset potential right now. Good round, I believe, would need a loss from LG Evil, given that they lost that head-to-head matchup. But LG Evil, no update on that between them and Virtue. Regardless, heading to control here. See what we're going to have from both teams, and it looks like Bonnie on the Sombra here. They're not going to put Shrugger. They're putting Shrugger on the Diva. No Pharah this time around, and now Surefour is the one to bring out the Pharah.
I'm actually looking at Clockwork here. Reason being is this man has been on fire throughout this series, at least here on Lijiang Tower with the Tracer. God's already starting things off. The Clockwork hasn't even gotten into the fight before God's already found a kill off on Boink. Oink, oink, man.
Never again, Hurix will never again say that, thankfully, as God's picks up 2 kills for himself, like you had mentioned. But really, I'm curious what you think about this pick from Bonnie on the Sombra, really.
Well, it's not anything new. That's the thing. I mean, with this map in particular, Lucio can extend his heals out pretty far, and honestly, it's just not something new. You get a lot of value out of that ultimate as well. You can shut down a lot of those barriers that are coming out. You can, you know, get those hacks out. Those EMPs are going to have a huge amount of impact in these fights, as you're going to be able to you know, do it up against D.Va. No defense matrix, if you think about it. You're going to be able to shut down tracers, I mean, easily, and it's working for him. So, I mean, obviously, again, nothing new. We have seen Stonebrizz in place of, you know, what would typically be an Ana pick or something like that in the past before. So it's not too surprising, but it is interesting that it's working out so well for them, given the fact that this is really kind of their first major switch in terms of their composition throughout this series.
Well, they did manage to turn that fight around despite losing a couple of guys fairly early on. Both teams coming up on some ults. There's Surefour, though, coming through with his ultimate. Picks up one onto Muma. Does get Shrugger out of the mech as well. So nice turnaround coming out from Cloud9. Fairly early on here. Didn't want to give up 99% again or anything like that. Wouldn't want that happening here, as they will put up a little bit higher than 40. As Adam ready to go with the Resurrect in the next fight. Got to make sure they utilize him well, especially since Emil is going to be coming up with that Tag Visor.
Certainly looking for that Resurrect to be just as strong as what we've been seeing from Bonnie. I mean, Bonnie literally saved the game in that last map with that Resurrect, that triple res that he got at 99% in overtime to swap things back around, and then obviously Clockwork to be able to find those picks. But now we're going to be seeing C9 holding onto a lot of ults. Surefour already finding a kill off onto Emil.
Still not utilizing that ultimate because, you know, like you said, he was taken down. That could have been big for them, and making sure Surefour was a priority target along with Adam. Even so, Resurrect comes out from Adam, gets Just Gods back up into the mix here, which is a nice pickup, especially since they forced Muma to pop the Primal Rage there. And I don't want to say it was a wasted ultimate, didn't really get a whole lot accomplished, and I think Cloud9, because of that, are going to be able to hold on to this for the time being. Bonnie, though, back up in the mix. He has his ultimate ready to go.
Well, honestly, I mean, in this setting right here, I mean, first of all, we are going to be seeing the EMP come out, and that's going to shut down a lot of the ability for C9 to keep holding on to this one. Despite that, though, Gods has found 2 kills, and he can't teleport. Remember that. So, I mean, the fact that he's still all over the place and still finding these kills is huge for C9, as they've already taken the lead and then some. Look at the scoreline here, 66% to 42% as C9 pulls away. I mean, they used literally everything to hold on to that. And Adam will have Resurrect soon-ish, but, I mean, honestly, Good Round has even less.
I was so surprised they didn't take that, because that was a great ultimate by Bonnie. There was just no follow-up off of that EMP. Now he moves over to the Zenyatta here. Let's see what they can make of it. 15 seconds left before they hit that 99. We'll see if they're able to get to that. I'd imagine at this point here, but still, guys are under a little bit of pressure. Zephyr going to be taken out of the mech. Adam has a Resurrect ready to go. Does he need to use it? But Bonnie's the first to drop here, so maybe an opportunity for C9 to come through. There's a barrage up top coming out from Surefour. Does get res back up after being taken down by Emil.
And Surefour is back up in the sky. They have that advantage, 99%. Just need to clear out the point. And because of Rolf's ability to just pop out that sound barrier and hit basically everybody with it, I mean, Kaiser down pretty low. Zephyr more than likely going to get DMAC'd, but we'll have to see here as Surefour has already DMAC'd Shrugger, and maybe they're going to clean this up. Muma is getting down pretty low himself. Clockwork is somehow healing up, despite the fact that he was down at about 10 HP, and that's going to be the sound barrier coming out for Boink, and they're still holding on here, just trying to win out on this third map.
I don't think they're going to be lasting too much longer. Bonnie is here, is able to translocate to safety, but going to be pressured upon by Gods. See if he can find that one for himself. Gets him with the Pulse Bomb here. Muma is in the area, so is Shrugger, but they're going to be, their lives are going to be short-lived at this point here. It's Lucio coming off of respawn. I'm afraid that should be it. Self-destruct is out. Overtime still ticking down. Somehow, some way, Cloud9 should be able to secure the first non-199 round.
And the first time that one of these teams in this particular series is able to get a round win on their own map as well.
That is true.
So C9 definitely breaking the mold on multiple levels there. Now is it enough for them to actually kind of get their composure back and, you know, just follow through with a full run back? I mean, they need 2 more rounds, obviously, to be able to clinch this one and, you know, get that last win in the group stage that they're looking for to be able to secure themselves that top seed, which I think they've pretty much already done at this stage. So at this point, so at this point, they really want to win this, obviously, for the seeding. Again, single elimination bracket, so it's incredibly important for all of these teams to do as best as they possibly can in the group stage, so they have the best matchup going into the quarterfinals tomorrow.
Well, Surefour going to be starting this round out with the Pharah Mercy setup here, which, you know, is the first time, I guess, we've seen, other than, I think they did it on Control Center as well, I believe. So they want to bring this out. It worked for him last time. We'll see if it's going to be the same case. This time, Shrugger, though, picks up that first kill. And that is definitely a solid start once again as we get to see a little bit of that action come out from both these Pharahs.
Shrugger definitely starting off very, very strong, as they're going to have competing Pharahs here. But again, this is that night market stage that C9 typically does pretty well on, but of course against Good Round that just hasn't been the case. And Surefour does kill off Bonnie and now has a really strong lead. If he does want to go ahead and take this sky battle once again, Shrugger is going to get pushed off, and Email actually getting taken down pretty low. Almost takes out Adam as he flies right in front of him, but Adam's going to be able to get in there, and C9 looking very strong on the point.
Clockwork just kind of running around uncontested here. Gods did have about like a 30% advantage in terms of pulse bomb moving into this fight, was able to find a kill for himself, but finally should be dealt with. Yes, he was actually taken down there, so that's a nice pickup. They are going to get the flip. 31% put up. I believe that's like the same amount they put up originally the last time. I think they put up 30%, so already starting out pretty similarly for both teams here. Adam and Bonnie getting closer to Resurrects, though, as Rolf clearly has an advantage in the sound barrier. It could be pretty big, especially since Shrugger is coming up on a barrage. If he can time that well, they should be in a decent position.
Surefour in trouble here. I mean, Shrugger almost took him out. He does indeed take him out. That's 3 hits that he wound up getting, forcing the res out from Adam. But now as Shrugger finds this kill, and he does indeed again, that's not only the kill off on Surefour, but it's also the Resurrect completely wasted out.
That's a little rough. You get taken down by Shrugger twice in a row. You have another opportunity. Doesn't happen. And it was unfortunate that Adam wasn't able to get Kaiser back up in the mix. He was a little too far away from him, I believe. But they put up 41% before that that goes back in favor of Good Round here. But Good Round only needs one more round to be able to move to Dorados. So they've got a little bit of a wiggle room here, Curix. But even so, a pretty close one on their hands once again.
And Bonnie just sitting on this Resurrect, so if things definitely go south, then Resurrect available. We've seen these Mercies, especially on King of the Hill, again, just using that Resurrect very liberally, just throwing them out whenever they need to. Gods actually does manage to get the pick there onto Boink.
And that's definitely another solid start. Sound barrier comes out there. Kaiser able to, alleviate some of the pressure. Oh my goodness, Kaiser just melted there by Shrugger with the barrage, and Bonnie comes through with a nice Resurrect. And honestly, that res and barrage were the reasons they came back into that one. Of course, Muma lighten up the feed, but that was just big plays on big plays coming out. 70% now. One team fight would secure it and the map.
But here's the thing, they used 4 ultimates in that fight. Yep. I mean, Primal Rage at the ready for Kaiser. It's going to be going up against the sound barrier. Really, it's just going to be what kind of effect Kaiser can have here if there's going to be any picks. I mean, certainly you want to see a pick onto Boink as soon as possible before he gets that sound barrier off, so you have a really good shot, but then he's going to have it into the next fight. So I don't know. It's going to be really tough here for them.
Sound barrier initiation, though. Clockwork, does he find anything? No, not even damage, unfortunately, but early on they get rid of Zephyr out of the mech. That's a nice pickup for these guys. Isn't enough to seal the deal, though. Kaiser ready to go with Primal Rage. He's on the point, is forced to pop this one, trying to knock him all around. There's the Resurrect from Adam. That's exactly what they needed right now, Hurix, as we are in overtime ticking down here, and I think they should be able to make the flip.
However, Boink's still on this point. I mean, he's going to get completely obliterated, so I have to agree. It does look as though they are going to be able to get that flip, but Bonnie is getting really close to that Resurrect, and once he has it, you definitely, I mean, for C9, they definitely want to see Adam with one of his own so that he can flip that just like we saw on Garden initially, just basically counter that Resurrect with one of his own, but not really as close as you would like to see that opposition at the moment. We are going to be seeing Clockwork, though, slide around, force the rest of C9 to come over to the point to at least contest him, or at least give him a little bit of a 1v1, give him some poke, and he's going to look for that opening pick on that, with that Pulse Bomb, though, once he gets it up. He's at 96 right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage from Gods onto Email with his own Pulse Bomb, though, allowed for them to follow up onto Boink, and I honestly, heading into this fight here, I thought that Gods was a pivotal part to them being able to take the fight, and opening up with the Pulse Bomb, a big chunk of damage. That's definitely a good start. Nice boops as well around the map there for the side of Rolf and C9, and now it's 85% Hurix. All cards on the table for C9. Resurrect still 40% off, but they do have Rolf to keep them alive, so maybe an extended team fight can favor them.
We'll have to see. I mean, they really need to get stuff going early on. Rolf needs to pull out his ultimate as early as possible. He does get it off, but not to a great effect. He only gets 3 with it. Email still finds the kill, and Adam doesn't have that Resurrect even still.
Shrugger sees the barrage. He goes just a step above him, unloads right onto Surefour. Bonnie with the Resurrect gets Boink and Shrugger back up into the mix. They've got the numbers. Adam, it doesn't even have he's still 10% off his Resurrect. He's coming off of a respawn. They get the flip. They should be able to secure secure this one. Zephyr is still here. No, it's going to be Good Round taking this one 3-1 here, upsetting Cloud9, at least on this map, as we head to Dorado for the final map of the night.
And even on that map, I still feel like C9's got to be favored in that one. I think it's very surprising that Good Round has been able to take Lijiang away from C9, but still, I think the biggest thing that you could say is from Bonnie, Sugar, and Clockwork, with just the performance that those three had primarily, those guys were insane, and you can see it here on the board. I mean, look at these. C9 gets all the cards. They've done so much here, but despite that, I mean, again, Clockwork, so many picks that he was able to get, on top of Shrugger winning out a lot of the time on those Pharah battles with Surefour and Bonnie with the Resurrects there. They've been so consistent, the three of them. Definitely got to be a worry going into Dorado, but I think C9 should be able to take that one. It's still going to be pretty close, I think, but overall, C9, I think, should be able to take this, but Dorado, again, kind of a very different map than what we've been seeing so far between these two teams.
And obviously, it's a different map, it's a different game mode, but compositionally, what do you expect to be different from both of these teams? And I guess the main question for me is in Good Round, because they seem dead set on putting Shrugger on that Pharah Mercy, and I think there's a lot of room for that on Dorado.
Well, I mean, it's a very similar composition to, again, what you would see out of someone like CLG or something back in the past where they were able to do well with that specific comp. If you have the Pharah skills to back it up, the comp is strong. I mean, you still have the Diva to provide pressure so that you can actually do well in that Pharah v. Pharah battle if it does come to it. Barrages go out, you have the defense matrix. If they have a soldier, you have the defense matrix. I mean, it's a pretty safe composition while also still being very aggressive. So I do like it. I definitely agree with it. It makes a lot of sense to me. It looks like C9's going to be defending first with Good Round attacking. And on the attacking side, I think Good Round is going to more than likely opt to go with that Pharah.
I could see
we
it, yeah.
might be seeing a Genji at some point, but I think Clockwork more than likely exclusively going to be on the Tracer. He's just been doing so well with it, but I think the Pharah is very likely here, at least for the first stage of the map. Swapping later might make a lot of sense. Maybe Shrugger going over to another tank or perhaps Genji or something like that might make sense later on, especially into the final stage where the Pharah might not be as potent, but we'll have to see. Those Resurrects have proven to be time and time again very, very strong. They've been playing the Pharah, anyways, regardless of the map.
That's
so,
true.
I mean, you never know.
We did see on Control Center they actually opted to go away from that, and they moved Bonnie over to the Sombra. So that was the only round we did not see.
I
them
don't
actually.
think that we're going to be seeing the Sombra here.
Oh no, definitely
I don't think
not.
that's going to be.
But that's the only one I guess you didn't see that Pharah Mercy setup come out, and then it actually came out from Surefour on that point in particular, and then following up onto the next round, which they just lost with that same composition. So we are just going to be starting up in just a second, guys, to get into our final map of the night here.
And final series.
And final series. It is a final series. This is a must-win for the side of Good Round, and they are definitely hoping that LG Evil loses their game up against Virtue. Definitely a tough one for Virtue, but regardless, we are headed to Dorado. Like you mentioned, Cloud9 going to be on defense to get things started. And what do they want to put Gods on? What do they want to put Surefour on? It seems like the rest of the team has been pretty set in stone in what they were running with their composition earlier.
So they're going to bring out the triple tank. At the moment, we see Surefour on the McCree. Typically what you would see in this particular setting is, usually like a soldier, but McCree isn't really that big of a standout. It's not that surprising, really. I mean, obviously he's very solid with his aim. You see some of the other teams pulling out McCrees like this too. It's not the first time. We've even seen two other teams pulling out McCrees as well earlier today. So, again, not too much of a surprise. Definitely not crazy, especially considering the fact that Surefour is just so good with the McCree. So it makes a lot of sense, but I think holistically I would probably feel a lot safer, with a with a soldier, especially
Certainly.
given the fact that you don't have that Discord to just completely one-shot people. If you have the right range for it and get those headshots. So they have the Ana. I'm not 100% sure about this, but obviously, I mean, Surefour is incredibly talented, so I don't doubt that they're going to be able to do well with it.
Let's see what Good Round want to do here. I'm not sure if they're actually going to be running this composition. More than likely going to be going with a dive-heavy composition, as we do see Clockwork briefly sitting on the Widowmaker. Let's see if that is a pick he wants to open things up with, or if he's going to move off this one. Currently, he is back in the base, definitely in a spot to make the change. which is exactly what he's going to do. Going over the Tracer, running exactly what they ran before, kind of as expected here. We'll see how well they can deal with Shrugger this time around, as the air is pretty open here on Dorado.
So they are going to be running that same composition there, and certainly looking for Shrugger to utilize the environment as much as he possibly can, just kind of sitting above the houses and just poking as much as possible onto guys like Rolf specifically. And then if he gets them low enough, he doesn't have to get the kills necessarily, but if he gets them low enough, that's enough room. It's a window of opportunity, rather, for guys like Muma and Emil to just run in and dive onto it and try to find those kills, or potentially even Clockwork, who is now behind enemy lines here.
Him and Muma kind of took the same pathing there, so they're just trying to kind of corner these guys in, make it a little bit easier for Shrugger to utilize that open air, so the McCree from Surefour has to back up into the building with the rest of his team here. But he's actually sitting pretty healthy right now. Boink, the first to drop here. And still Shrugger really not providing a whole lot of threat in the skies. He's throwing out some rockets, but really hasn't been able to connect because good positioning overall from C9, allowing them to just avoid that.
And on top of that, really, I think the more important fact of the matter is that Muma is caught behind, and he might actually get killed off very late here. He does jump, and he does get away, does get healed as well by Bonnie, so that's actually going to feed Bonnie a ton of ult, so that they're going to have that Resurrect available sooner rather than later. Certainly got to look to see what kind of impact that has based on the timings that we see and how that's going to affect C9, as they basically did kind of give that away.
Ooh, look at Shrugger, though. He is way back in enemy territory. There's a hook from God. Spots out Bonnie. Gets the pick. He was at 90% on that Resurrect, so he will have it for the next fight here. But regardless, 2 minutes already off the clock here. And C9 really not forced to use anything just to secure that fight. Now, I'm curious to see what Surefour wants to do with his Deadeye here.
Gods has been insane so far with these hooks. I mean, shutting down pushes, these very slow, strategic pushes so far from Good Round at the moment have just been completely dismantled by Gods with a single hook, and then followed up, of course, by Surefour just getting those headshots and landing kills. He got the last one onto Clockwork, but Clockwork, of course, got to be a little bit worried of that pulse bomb that's coming up pretty soon, as he's managed to get it charged up pretty soon. There it is right there. But look at Cloud9, basically 6 ultimates ready to go.
They're going to go ahead and pop quite a bit here. There's Kaiser opening it up with the kill on the Muma, though, and there's the Deadeye. It's what I'm looking for from Surefour. Gets the nano boost, gets the kill on the Shrugger immediately as the Resurrect came out there. There's Kaiser. I've been looking for his Shatters, man, and he does show up with that one. Wasn't a game-changing Shatter, but it does close out the team fight. And with about 65 seconds to go, C9 used everything there.
The more I think about this McCree pick, the more it makes sense. I mean, obviously you have that quick pick potential against Shrugger when he does go for that that ult. Once he does barrage, you could just land those quick headshots and take him out, and you know that barrage isn't as lethal anymore. But moreover, when you get those Deadeyes, if you hold them for the Resurrects, he's able to just kill them as soon as they come back up, because he's just charging his ultimate up. The Deadeye's getting that headshot lined up while they're actually in that invuln stage when they can't move yet. So when they come out, he just gets that nano boost when they get a little bit of that extra HP, and he's still able to find that that kill.
Nice charge. Oh, man, from Kaiser, able to kind of displace Muma out of that fight. Oh, he gets taken down mid-jump in the air. 20 seconds remaining here. Shrugger, no ultimate, no Resurrect ready either, because both teams kind of unloaded every ultimate they had in the previous fight. Clockwork is their only hope to come up with a pick with the Pulse Bomb. Is it enough to get the job done here? It's 10 seconds to go.
Bonnie, 70%. I mean, we are going to be seeing the nano boost coming up pretty soon. Surefour almost does have that Deadeye, so as soon as Bonnie does get the res, definitely want to see that. Oh, the Deadeye's lining up. He already gets Shrugger, though, but Bonnie's still alive. They need to get that shutdown. They do find the kill.
Surefour coming through there. There's another Shatter from Kaiser. It picks up 2 Emil. Forced to go ahead and use that self-destruct to get the reset here. He is the lone survivor. He is going to be charged off the payload and pretty much done for there, as it looks like Cloud9 hold them just shy of that first checkpoint. That is the performance we expected from Cloud9 here.
Definitely looking a lot better here on Cloud9, making that first point hold. Bonnie going ahead and saying, good round. Makes a lot of sense given their name. But now, going into this attacking phase for C9, looks like Surefour is going to be back on the McCree at the moment. Just have to see if he winds up sticking with that. And definitely expecting a triple tank setup, actually, as it is looking like it's going to pan out to be, as Kaiser is on that Reinhardt at the moment. But the question becomes, you know, what is Surefour going to be running? Is it going to be the McCree, or is he going to be opting for something more like a Tracer, or, you know, even a Soldier? But I think Tracer or McCree is probably more likely than the Soldier at this point. We'll have to see what he actually thinks, because clearly he's not running my line of thinking. But I do like what happened actually with the McCree. I think it panned out a lot better than what would have happened if they, ran that Soldier, because of the fact that the Deadeye was just shutting down the res. And not only that, but it also kind of gives a lot of room to kind of clear the market and give everybody else time to kind of readjust when he does pull it up, and able to find that kill on Shrugger as well both times when he pulled it out. So I think obviously tremendous impact from that pick, on top of the pick potential that you get with McCree, the fact that he has such good aim to be able to find those headshots and get those eliminations pretty quick. Gods at the moment though, going to be on the Widow, maybe looking for just a quick pick to see if he can get one early on. I'm not sure if he's going to be sticking to this or not, but looking back in his history, Gods obviously is a very solid Widowmaker, so it would be crazy to see him pull this out like this right now, and I don't think he will, but if he did, I think it would be insane for Cloud9, because they do have that flexibility in him.
They certainly do, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a little bit of a change-up come out here from the side of Good Round, putting Shrugger on the Diva this time around and moving Emil over to the Zarya. Clockwork now on the 76, so 3 changes coming up here, a little bit of a role swap, I guess, from Emil and Shrugger there to see what they can do with this triple tank setup. This is all or nothing. Tournament lives on the line here. They lose this, they will not be playing tomorrow, and Cloud9 would be moving forward as the 1 seed from Group D, with LG Evil as the 2nd seed here. So we'll see what's going to be made of this one. A single team fight could secure it for them.
Absolutely, at this stage, a single team fight will secure it for them. I mean, it's already at that point where 30 meters is not that much of distance to cover, especially if you could push it during the fight, if at all possible. And now the tanks here for Good Round are certainly trying to kind of posture up against C9. Kaiser taking up the lead, and now God's already pushed back. He's not going to be able to heal because he actually did get Mida grenaded.
Oh, he's still alive! How? Kaiser actually coming through there. Oh my goodness, nice Earth Shatter on the other end though. Muma laying them flat, but that was Kaiser actually putting up a shield. I mean, the right click saving the life of Gods. Like you had said, nice bio grenade initially from Bonnie, but even so, the defense holding on strong because of that Shatter from Muma.
And that's a good defense so far, taking off just over a minute now. Surefour 71% on that Deadeye roll, about the same pace there with the nano boost. I'm not sure if they're going to wind up going together with that, but certainly an opportunity, or certainly a possibility for them. Could also go with Kaiser, and we'll have to see where Gods can be at that point as well. I mean, at this stage, it really doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, but Gods on the Genji right now. Oh, he got bio-grenaded too. Emil finds that kill.
That's a good pickup for these guys. They're not going to have to expend any ultimates to be able to push them back. C9 just voluntarily going to move on back there. 2 minutes already off the board here, and it's looking like Good Round might have a fighting chance, actually, Urix. I mean, this is exactly where Cloud9 held them. They've got ultimates coming down the pipeline here, and I think a lot of this is going to come off of how well they can time their ultimates and not blow all of them at once in this next fight.
Deadeye ready, Nano Boost ready. Muma's shield down pretty low. He's recharging at the moment, but he does have that Earth Shatter ready to go. He just drops it. I don't think he got anything,
no, he didn't. He didn't. Kaiser had his up there. Wasn't able to find anybody on the other side of this one. Deadeye's out, though, for Surefour as they try to move him back bit by bit. Shrugger, though, trying to get a little bit of displacement as well, as this will be the final fight. Oh my goodness, the flank from Kaiser! He hits 3 off of that one, charges Muma into the wall here. There was a nice bio grenade in there somewhere from Wolf to be able to make them all purple for the time being. This should certainly be it, Hurix. I mean, they've got the numbers. Self-destruct doesn't find anything, Hurix. All that stands in their way is Shrugger, Boink, and Muma.
Muma down pretty low. God's going to be able to get aggressive. The flashbang doesn't even go over the shield, though, as Surefour is trying to solidify that kill. Somehow, Muma has maintained his own life there now with Bonnie back in the picture, but Gods actually finds that kill as the blade comes out. He was able to do work with this before on Nepal, and now he's trying to go for round number 2 on Dorado to close things out. They kill off Shrugger. They're 3 meters away, Storm, and they close it out.
GG's all around here. That's going to be Cloud9 taking the 2-1. Got to give that one game, though, to Good Round as they put up a heck of a performance. But that's going to be Cloud9 finishing out Group D with a 3-0 record. LG Evil with that 2-1 record getting that 2nd seed. And we don't have our matchup set for tomorrow, but we have all 8 teams that will be playing for that $5,000 tomorrow, Hurix.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for the playoffs. I mean, looking back now, obviously really, really good performances from all the teams that we got to watch them. Really glad that we got to see the matches that we wound up streaming for you guys, because those were some fantastic matches. We got to see Surefour pulling out the McCree here, as you can see in the play of the game, and just coming alive with those Deadeyes, really having a tremendous impact with that pick that you typically wouldn't see from very many teams. I mean, most teams would opt for the Soldier 76 if they want that hit scan option. But really worked out for them in the end. We saw some other great teams, obviously Kungarna looking really solid in Group A, Yikes looking much the same as well. Renegades beating out CLG was obviously a big win for them.
Certainly.
And then Selfless, of course, looking strong as always. So, at this stage, I'm really excited about the playoff scenario tomorrow. Really excited to jump into it. And the qualifier was really, the group stage was really solid, but so was the qualifier, obviously, too. Unfortunately, it didn't,
Yeah. Well, we got our 1 seeds for tomorrow. That will be Kungarna, Selfless, Renegades, and Cloud9, meaning none of those 4 teams can obviously play each other in the first round. 2 seeds are Yikes, Rise, CLG, and LG Evil, all of which will play a 1 seed tomorrow, which is a single elimination bracket play here, X. Anything in particular you're looking forward to and potential matchups from these teams?
Well, I'm certainly looking at, basically anybody that Cloud9 goes up against, because while they did look pretty solid in the group stage, I'm not seeing them currently strong enough to be able to take this tournament unless a lot of things change here. And obviously another big one that I'm looking out for is Kungarna. Really kind of whatever matchups. It's really kind of teams that I'm looking at to see what kind of performances they're going to be having, because, there's some standouts. Renegades, another one really looking forward to as well. And CLG to see, was it a slump or what happened in that matchup?
Or is it Renegades just that strong? I'm really excited to see what Renegades is able to do starting tomorrow in the quarterfinals. But guys, that's all the matches for us from us today. I do want to give a shout out as always to Rivalcade. Give them a follow on Twitter. We're going to of course be saying what matches we have tomorrow in the quarterfinals on Twitter. So follow at Live the Battle on Twitter. I'm at Game with Storm. He's at CT Hurix. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern with all of the quarterfinal action. We'll see you then.